in a world
George, can you help me set up my recording studio?
Abso-freaking-lutely.
where voiceover talent are stuck in their closets
Is there a way to improve the quality of my audio files?
Oh yeah.
and they need to deliver finished audio tracks.
You are my hero.
Oh, thank you. That was sweet.
There is one man who takes it all on.
Video time, excellent, Whittam's World.
Whittam's World, rated VO.
Hey everybody, this is George Whittam reporting for Whittam's World once again. I got to thank everybody who's been contributing questions. I'm getting more than I can possibly answer, and I think that's great. I really appreciate it. When I started this vlog, I wasn't sure if I'd get enough questions to keep it going, so thank you so much. I try really hard to combine questions and make sure that the questions I do choose are going to give answers that will help the most people possible. So keep that in mind. If I don't answer your question, or I don't get to it right away, maybe it's because it's very specific to your needs, and I try to answer questions that help as many people as possible. That's my number one goal here. So to that end, I've got a question this week from Dan Dennis. Dan sent in a question about microphone placement. My goal in my home studio setup is for the equipment not to interfere with my performance. That is so true. It's really important. To that end, mic placement seems a bit tricky. I use my home studio mostly for auditions. For actual sessions, I prefer to go to a professional studio. Good for you. Must live in the city. I've been to a lot of studios with a variety of microphones. Sennheiser 416 shotgun is a very common one. Usually the 416, the engineer will place the mic right in front of me, blocking the copy. You mean something like this? Like right in front of you, blocking the copy? Yeah, not the greatest. As I move to the side to read the copy, I've been told to try and stay directly in front of the mic. I find myself thinking about the mic and not the copy. Not good. That sounds like an engineer who's used to recording singers who don't need to read copy when they're singing. But that's a really tough technique to have to deal with, or mic placement to deal with if you're trying to read copy. I would have to say that engineer is not very voiceover centric or voiceover actor friendly. As you can see, I'm facing the camera right now. I certainly sound like I'm on microphone, and I'm not using the little headset mic today. It's still stuck to my headphones. I didn't take it off, but it's not this mic I'm using. I'm using one of these two mics over here, and because Dan was asking about the 416, a shotgun microphone, but also he's asking about a U87 or large diaphragm condenser, and I've got both styles of microphones rigged up right here. This just so happens to be an AT875R. And this is an older model of an MXL mic. It's called the 1006. But the form factor is, the point here. So as you can hear, I'm not facing the microphones dead on. I'm facing them at an angle. And I could actually get these a little bit closer to me right now. Get that nice 6-inch distance away from the microphone. But I'm using the large diaphragm condenser. And if you're wondering which mic are you using right now, just scratch the grill. There you go. And as you can hear, if I face the mic directly, it gets a little bit brighter and more crisp and brittle. And depending on your voice, that could be a good thing. But I find it's usually not a good thing because now the microphone is listening right down your throat and it hears every little tiny mouth noise. And if you work slightly off to the side like this, it kind of attenuates that really bright, sharp, edgy part of the tonal characteristics of the microphone. And it gives a little bit smoother response. This is definitely true of generally the less expensive condenser mics specifically. So I have the mic over here. I can still read copy really comfortably. No problem whatsoever. Another issue that was asked about, Jack DeGolia asked about how do you position an iPad next to a microphone to minimize reflection? Well, iPad, copy stand, no matter what it is, whatever that thing is you're reading copy from, whether it's a screen or a copy stand or a piece of paper, anything can reflect sound into the microphone. So it is important to position it carefully. So I've got like a desktop copy holder here that I use for just general, keeping track of my scripts and things like that. What am I talking about? I'm not a voiceover actor. No, I don't use it for scripts. I just use it to keep mail and keep organized. But anyway, so if this was my script, I would want to have it up nice and high like this. And I want to have it right alongside my microphone. And I wouldn't have any reflection issues as long as I keep the angle of the script such that the sound of my voice bounces off that hard surface and then ricochets up and away from the microphone. Okay? So a bad position would be to have it like this, where the copy or the copy holder is acting as a reflector and bouncing the sound of my voice back into the microphone. That would actually cause some phasiness, okay? So in the recording studio, they seem to be focusing on the microphone instead of the copy. And my philosophy is focus on the copy first. Get the copy stand exactly where you want it, where you're happy with it, where it's very comfortable. You're not cramped over, hunched over, bent over. Your vocal cords are wide open and you can read the copy comfortably, and then position the microphone accordingly to deal with the position of the copy. I feel like that's the best way to go, okay? Sorry if you're working with an engineer who doesn't seem to get that concept, because that's going to be very frustrating for you, I understand. But I like to have the microphone slightly to the side, and sometimes if I really do want that extra bright sound, then maybe directly above and pointed down at my mouth with the copy underneath, like this, okay? But you do have to be really careful of reflection. Make sure the copy stand's not bouncing sound back into the microphone. Now, let's try that with the shotgun mic. So let's pivot this thing around so that the shotgun mic is pointing at me. And now I'm talking into the AT875R. So it's a pretty similar concept. I still like to use the microphone slightly off axis, either from above pointing down or slightly to the side pointing in. If you like to get a little bit more chest resonance, you can point it downward more, chin or below the chin level, and that will, again, smooth the mic out. It'll take away some of the sibilance, and because the microphone's pretty directional and you have resonance in your chest, it's going to pick up more of that chest resonance. These techniques are all helpful for, allowing yourself to be unencumbered and have plenty of room to act, plenty of room to see your copy, and if you're not using a mic boom like I am, because I'm using a desk stand, which I know people say is not a good idea because if you bump the desk, you get a little bit of that in the sound. Generally, it's not a good idea to use a mic boom mounted to the desk. So use a floor stand or a wall-mounted mic boom that will not pick up any vibration from your workstation, and you'll have a much better time recording audio without noises and extraneous sounds. You'll be able to work on your computer and it won't pick up all the vibration. So good strong stand, get the mic up nice and high, get it in the ideal location. Don't have a gong over to the side like I do. You can actually hear the gong resonating with my voice. And just make sure your room is clear of anything that would be ringing or vibrating. That's it. Just use your ears at the end of the day. I'm using a headphone now. I know a lot of voice coaches don't say to use headphones or tell you specifically not to. And because it takes practice to not listen to yourself and get caught up in the sound of your voice and kind of get carried away with how great you sound, your mellifluous tones, if that's a word. But I'm using it now because I'm trying to find a precise location for my microphone. Once I have that position locked down and I'm happy with where it is, once you're happy, take off the headphones, get back to acting. Don't listen to yourself so closely anymore, and now you can just act without headphones once you know the mic is in the right spot and you know your recording levels are where they should be. So I feel like I rambled on this one, but there was so many different points I wanted to squeeze in there, so you might have to watch this again and again and again, and I understand. Thanks Jack to Golia and Dan Dennis for sending in your questions, and if you have questions, please do send them in to whittamsworld@edgestudio.com, and I will get to them as soon as I can. If your question is very specific and it doesn't apply to a lot of, common studio issues, you may need to address it more privately on a one-on-one session. And if that's the case, come see me over at vostudiotech.com and sign up for a consultation over there, and I can really focus on your needs in a timely manner. And please like the video, not just subscribe. The subscribing is great, thank you. But also, if you like the video, click the little thumbs up, because that really helps spread the word even further and gets more people to come and learn from the knowledge that you guys are helping me impart to you. Thanks again for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you next week on the next Whittam's World. Have a great one.